Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. We'll have to be weather aware again today and tonight. For two things, we're watching for potential flooding and severe weather. First, with the flooding potential, find your spot on the map. We have flood watches that begin generally at 1 o'clock this afternoon and expire either 11 o'clock tonight or 2 a.m. tomorrow. So basically today through tonight. Be weather aware of some thunderstorms producing excessive rain for some local to scattered flash flooding potential. This is a total over the next 5 days, but most of this will happen from today through early tomorrow. Anywhere from 1/4 to 2 inches of rainfall with locally higher amounts too. Remember, turn around, don't drown. If any flash flooding pops up, there's a slight risk of excessive rain for the entire state today and tonight. There's also an enhanced risk of severe weather for most of us. That means numerous severe storms are possible. The primary risk will be for swaths of damaging winds, but large hail and a tornado will be possible too. Had a high of 87 yesterday at Charleston. What the radar may look like starting at 1. Warm front's already powered northeast of us. We await our cold front from the northwest. That doesn't hit our West Virginia skies until sometime overnight or early tomorrow morning. So this afternoon, overnight, be mindful of intensifying thunderstorms, flooding, and severe. Know that's a safe place to be if severe weather develops. Fly Severe forecast, it starts at home. Charlotte near 94 today. 90 tomorrow with a chance of thunderstorms from panhandle to panhandle. Rain and storms, risk of severe and flooding. East, some major heat risk in the eastern panhandle with some highs in the 80s and 90s before the storms come in. Central areas, flood watch, risk of severe, watching damaging winds. And to the south, flood watch, risk of severe, swaths of damaging winds. High near 90 in Huntington. Tomorrow, our chance of showers and storms generally ending early. A break of things near 80 on Thursday, and then some chances of passing showers mid-80s for the weekend.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Live from West Virginia's capital city with news from across the state. This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law, with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and Metro News' Dave Allen.
Welcome to the 2 o'clock hour. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. We'll get to Open Line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. Your calls and text, 1-800-765-TALK, text 304, talk 304. Also, Taylor Richmond from the State Libertarian Party is going to join us on flock cameras and more. It's Metro News Midday.
Metro News Midday is presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com. Join in by calling 800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK-304. Let's go live to downtown Charleston. Here's Dave Allen.
But good potential to be a stormy Tuesday. It already has been storming in many, many areas across the state of West Virginia, and it is only going to intensify as we head into the evening hours. It is Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Open Line West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK. That's the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. We'll get to those calls and texts at the bottom of the hour. Of course, we are keeping a close eye on the weather. As I've promised you, Taylor Richmond from the State Libertarian Party is going to join us to weigh in on flock cameras and several other things that's on his mind. But the top story in West Virginia continues to be the weather. And let's check in with Metro News meteorologist Bryan Hughes. Joins me in studio. Good afternoon, sir.
Well, good afternoon to you. A little dicey across parts of Gilmer and Lewis counties right now.
All right, what's going on?
We've got a severe thunderstorm warning. I see, and this is what we talked about, that hail was not going to be our primary concern, except any thunderstorms that would be out and away from the line. Anything that could be tornadic would be a problem with hail. And right now across the Troy area in parts of Gilmer County, moving into Lewis County. So at Vaddis, Allen Bridge, you need to be on the lookout for some large hail in this area because this storm has been spinning up. Matter of fact, there's still broad rotation across portions of Lewis as well as into eastern sections of Gilmer County, western section of Lewis County. But and actually that was Vaddis and Allen Bridge, Vaddis, V-A-D-I-S. Very small community there in parts of the county. But Bells Mills, Gillooley, G-I-L-L-O-O-L-Y, Gillooley.
Okay. Okay.
I hope I'm saying that
Okay,
right.
well, we certainly hope you are.
But that's where we
The
have
people that know there know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, exactly. If you can hit me on the text line about how to say that word properly, it would be awesome. But
304 Talk 304, by the way.
Yes.
So go ahead.
So what's happened is we had the tornado warning that was earlier across parts of northern Calhoun County, across sections of Gilmer County, as well as Ritchie County. And I do have some damage. Matter of fact, I actually sent it to the newsroom and said, folks, this is where I think we've got some. So there should be some a good bit of damage in that area. And let's see here. That would be, what was that, 312? Yeah. So that's going to be across the areas here. Let's see here. Just trying to get a good look at that. It's going to be back here to Burnt House, Fonzo, Beatrice, just south of Cantwell. Burnt House, yeah. Lawford, Burnt House, Fonzo, and Beatrice. Near the Ritchie Mines Wildlife Management Area. Okay. That's where we're going to have some wind damage,
and we're
possibly
talking about
tornadic.
like right now, right?
Right now,
at the present time.
That's where we should have some damage. But right now, this thunderstorm across parts of now what I see more than anything is this hail core that's from right at Allen Bridge, and that's going to be across portions of 33 and 119. So 33 and 119 up there, Vadis, Allen Bridge, just west of Camden. That's where we've got a big hail core. Another storm I'm watching is a new severe thunderstorm warning for Cabell County that's in effect. This is going to be just, if you were to look due north from Huntington, if you looked out your window and could see north into Lawrence County, we've got some rotation there. And the severe thunderstorm warning says that a tornado is possible. Mm-hmm. There is no tornado warning that's been issued, but when it's just close enough, they do notify in the severe thunderstorm warnings that could be possible. So, severe thunderstorm warning includes parts of the eastern sections of downtown Huntington, back towards the area towards Rome, Barbersville, Milton. You're under the severe thunderstorm warning just south of Crown City. It's going to be well south of the Newcourt area. But this thunderstorm capable producing what could be a tornado at any point in the next 30 minutes to an hour, because we've seen that wrapping up. So 2 areas of concern where we had the rotation, but that bigger one back there across portions of Gilmer and again into Lewis County, moving into Lewis County. That hail core there right now is just around the Allen Bridge area. Still seeing some rotation there. Lots of wind with this. And here's the deal, Dave. This is not even the big part of the storm. Mm-hmm. We've got here it is. We're at 2:00, and we think more of the storms are being delayed because of these storms that move through. So the thing was, we knew that this would be an evolving pattern, mm-hmm. and it is going to be changing. But we still have the front well back to the west. This could be a late afternoon, evening event that this is transitioning into, with just these 2 supercell thunderstorms right here that we're dealing with in the Huntington area, just north of there in the Ohio side, and the one that's running just south of Clarksburg in the Buchanan area.
Somebody just sent me a text that VADIS pronounced Vadis.
Vadis, okay.
You don't know what you don't know, as a former boss of mine used to say.
Exactly. Right. It's kind of like no one knew how to pronounce Adonijah, but I can tell you this. I know how to do it now.
All right. So Bryan we'll give Bryan a little bit of a reprieve here, and then we're going to bring him back because you're going to be on a lot over the next few hours because as this thing starts to evolve, because we're just in the beginnings. And I mentioned earlier, around 10:30 or so this morning here in Charleston, we had a huge downpour. And about 5 miles down the road, there was nothing,
Yeah.
And that rolled through downtown Charleston. That was just rain, though. It wasn't really anything else.
And that is transitioning into severe thunderstorms all across the Charlottesville area. More of those were working their way out as far southern West Virginia. So that stuff that started in Charleston now into Virginia. Mm-hmm. So
but we're not even. I mean, we got a long night ahead of us.
Right. I think what we're going to have, what this is transitioning into, are supercell thunderstorms that are ahead of the main line. That line looks like it could be delayed. Severe thunderstorm watch goes until 8:00 tonight, mm-hmm. and I think probably when we get to the 6 o'clock, 5 to 6 o'clock time frame, that's when we're going to start to see more of that line starting to impact West Virginia.
All right. Bryan, just hang out with me here 1 second, and he's going to continue in the weather lab, as we call it. And by the way, we're going to work on that for people that follow you on social media. We're going to work on the wallpaper in the office here, because I think of more concern of anything else of the things you posted yesterday and today was the wallpaper in your office upstairs.
It was good back in the late 90s and early 2000s, but 20 to 30 years later, that wallpaper has got to go.
Okay. All right. Taylor Rich, Libertarian Party Director. Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for being patient with us as we've been talking weather here today. Thanks a lot.
No, they've had me on and praying for all my fellow West Virginians in light of the storm. And my dad's a firefighter down outside of Beckley area, so also saying a special prayer for all of our first responders as they help keep us safe through this.
All right, I wanted to bring you on because when the first time I started hearing about these flock cameras, Taylor. The first person that I thought of as far as a discussion about this, his name rhymes with Taylor Richmond. So I appreciate you coming on today. What do you think? What do you make about all this discussion about these flock cameras?
Yeah, so I think it's important, Dave, 2 points, is to start by saying that if you're going to sell anything, if the government's going to sell anything to us, the easiest way they've ever done it is to make us feel unsafe or promise us more safety by doing whatever that thing is. And, we can go back to things like the war on drugs, the war on poverty, the war on terror, COVID, all of those things were sold for our safety, and we saw what failures those have been. But also we know through history, and it doesn't take much studying of it to realize that anything that the government does in a very tailored and narrow-focused manner always grows, whether it be the income tax, whether it be those war on terror, drugs and poverty, whether it be our response to COVID and the things that they made us do after those first 2 weeks to flatten the curve. It always grows. So I would push back on these arguments that, oh, well, it's very narrowly tailored and it's just the license plate numbers, Dave, and don't worry about it now. The door will continue to creak open, and they're just trying to boil the frog in what they're allowed to get away with in terms of encroaching on our Fourth Amendment rights and liberties.
But, I mean, the argument is going to be, and I understand it to a certain extent, and I know that even though you're a state Libertarian Party chair, that you do have a healthy respect for law enforcement and things of that nature. The argument, though, is going to be, well, what we are going to do with this and I'm just going to say Huntington, but there are other cities, and I talked to the mayor of Huntington,
Sure.
Patrick Farrell, last week. The argument's going to say this is just all in an effort to keep people safe. This is what it is. And to that, you would say what?
Yeah, like I said, that's the easiest way to sell anything. And I would just counter by pointing out the facts that violent and property crimes have decreased year over year, due in large part to the private citizens' use and application of private security systems and cameras as a deterrent, but also as a way to catch these criminals when they partner with law enforcement through the judicial attainment of warrants guaranteed to us by the Fourth Amendment. So those things are already happening. We're already making ourselves safer. There's no reason to begin to chew away or eat away at our core fundamental rights promised us by the Bill of Rights just to expedite policing a little bit faster. It's not worth that cost.
And I do want to state, have you state for the record, you're not against these sorts of surveillance equipments being on private property, right?
No, sir. I've got Ring doorbells on the front of my house. I'm for whatever anyone wants to do with their own, and I believe that generally you can go back, Dave, to neighborhood watches. We had kind of this thing years ago, and you remember the signs with the creepy figure on them when you drive through certain neighborhoods. People would look out for one another. People are doing that now with their Ring doorbells. They're complying and offering up their access to their recordings when cars are broken into or stolen or whatnot. That's already happening. So, yes, 100%. What the private citizen business owner wants to do to protect themselves and their businesses and their community, by all means, cooperate with law enforcement with warrants. But to open the door for the government, whether state, federal, or any other way, to have access to this is a bridge too far. And I would just push back to some of my conservative friends who are making the arguments that you are. What do you think would have happened if the federal government just, a number of years ago had flock capabilities when some of us were violating policies and regulations in terms of going out during COVID to go to church and visit our grandmothers or do other things? You don't believe that they would have cracked down and utilized that to track us and do other things? And similarly, it wasn't too terribly long ago, within the past 2 years, that angry parents, justifiably angry parents at PTO boards and school boards, were labeled by the previous administration as domestic terrorists. Now, you're going to tell me that you don't think that local municipalities and law enforcement agencies would begin or be directed to utilize expansions of flock to track down domestic terrorists? I believe that they would. I believe those are false titles applied to the wrong people. And I'm afraid that if the government gets turned over to the other party that you don't like, they're going to be able to use and grow this in a way you won't like either.
Don't you find it interesting, though, and I can't get over this fact, again, we're talking with Taylor Richmond, who's the state party chair for the Libertarian Party. I cannot get over this fact that what, as Amanda said, what strange bedfellows that this whole thing is made, because at that the city council meeting, which went till 4 a.m. last week in Huntington, there were both Republicans and Democrats that voted for this. There were both Republicans and Democrats that were united against the use of the flock cameras in the way that the city of Huntington and other municipalities want to do. Don't you think it's kind of weird how it's like people are kind of coming together? You know, whether they're for it or against it, they're kind of coming together.
It's weird, but I encourage it. I encourage those cross-party, and it's definitely not just a bipartisan, tripartisan, however many partisan issue. You know, as a candidate for state senate up here in Morgantown and Fairmont, I've been going out, and I was at the meeting in Marion County just last week, and the room was predominantly left-leaning in terms of political affiliation, but obviously I was there. We had some conservatives. It was a great collaboration of people who are very much opposed to the current approach that flock is being provided and sent to us. So I love the collaboration. I love the involvement in the process and folks getting out and speaking out about what they're opposed to or for. But unfortunately, it seems that I'm the only candidate in this district that's going out and meeting with folks on this issue and making a strong stance against it.
Are you 100% against the use of flock cameras, or are there some variables that it would be okay?
No, I oppose any government-controlled cameras that are utilized in this manner and contracts with private companies to utilize data in this manner, and opposed to any warrantless search of such data by law enforcement. I believe the Fourth Amendment stands and should be utilized in those.
I was going to ask you, is this, as TJ Meadows, Talkline co-host, says, is this a direct violation, in your opinion, of the Fourth Amendment?
100%. If a government municipality building wants to put a camera on their building to protect the property there, I understand it fine. The same way I protect with a ring on my front of my house. But in terms of anything else, tracking anything else, I think is a violation. We are already moving that way as a society. Yes, your phone is tracking you. Yes, your Ring doorbell tracks you. We are moving that way as a society. Law enforcement can obtain warrants to access that data when needed, when the crime has occurred, and when there's suspicion, probable cause.
And we've seen some areas, I know Putnam County, where I live, is one example that had entered into an agreement with Flock, and we interviewed the sheriff there last week, and he just kind of, who's the most law and order guy you'll ever meet, okay? He basically, right down to the cowboy hat. I mean, Sheriff Eggleston last week said, we're going to put the hold on this right now. We're just going to kind of wait and see. Is it your wish that more governmental agencies, municipalities, county governments would just put a hold on it, or just do away with it altogether?
Well, do away with it altogether if they're already doing it, put a hold on it. And here's what I'll say also, TJ, is unfortunately we've seen, because police officers, like the rest of us, are human and we have our own flaws. Unfortunately, there's been a number, and I think it's somewhere in the hundreds now across the country, of law enforcement officers violating their ability and power to utilize these systems and technology to, stalk and surveil exes and other people. And all that does is diminish trust in the law enforcement community, which is the exact opposite thing that I want. I want policies and procedures in place to grow trust in police officers so we can improve those relations and have a better system in place to actually track down and bring the criminals to justice.
With the State Libertarian Party, he is Taylor Richmond. What else is on your radar these days? We've got about a minute or so left. What else is on your radar these days?
Well, school choice and funding for that is always top of my list. As a candidate for state senate, would be the strongest defender of hope and everything. And, pushback I've heard from my Democratic opponent about a couple of instances of utilization of funds for certain things and money going out of state for various services and things utilized by Hope. Dave, I've driven all around the state in my life. I don't know how many educational companies, resource companies we have in West Virginia for these private schools and homeschoolers to turn to. And I know for a fact that a lot of our public schools are spending millions of dollars out of state for things like Chromebooks and other services to bolster their educational providing. So to target homeschoolers and private schools who utilize Hope for spending money out of state, I think is a disingenuous attack. And I would be happy to go to Charleston and defend our Hope families.
All right, he's with the Libertarian Party. He is Taylor Richmond. I appreciate you being here, my friend. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me on, Dave.
2:23. We'll get another check-in with MetroNews meteorologist Bryan Hughes when we come back. Stay with us.
We'll be right back. This is MetroNews Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Need a truck that's ready for work, weekends, and everything in between? Right now at Dan Cava GMC, get up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500, or save up to $4,000 off all new GMC Canyon Elevations, offering bold styles, advanced technology, and everyday practicality. Come explore our all-new GMC Yukons, built for busy families and big adventures. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thorod.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
Where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
First thing I hear when those mics go on is you just coughing, and I'm just like, this guy.
You don't appreciate me giving that show a little ratings boost?
Coughing directly onto these microphones? No, I don't want it.
Hotline on MetroNews Television.
Welcome back to the show. It is 2:27. We'll get your calls and texts and open line West Virginia coming up in just a bit. Want to get another check in with MetroNews Meteorologist Bryan Hughes.
Yes. We've got, this is quite interesting. I know there's wind damage that we have across portions of Gilmer County and even back into sections of, let's see here. If we were to look at probably back up north of Elizabeth, if you were to draw a line from essentially Mineral Wells all the way back down to just north of Glenville State University, and mind you, north of there, probably by about 10 miles, that would be where we'd have just a line of damage. And when I say damage, there's going to be trees that are going to be down, power lines, things of that nature because of significant wind damage that we had from that storm. I mean, that storm is still rotating broadly. There's a lot of wind that's being sucked into it and just twisted around in there, but the tornado part has passed, at least for now. What I am concerned about is the storm that's going to run. It's running right along I-64 and on the north side of that as well. And it's moving out of Huntington. It's in the Barbersville area right now, or just north of Barbersville, just north of the mall there. That's where we have some rotation that we're watching. A tornado could be possible if things start to ramp up a little bit. But right now, it's just I promise you, there are some clouds there that are going to look pretty nasty just north of the Barbersville Mall. But Milton, you are getting in on some of the heavy rain that's moving in, and that's going to move right over Tays Valley area, Hurricane, Winfield, and it's going to move right towards Charleston. So that storm is something that we're watching there. That one has a severe thunderstorm warning on it. But the warning that we have includes Buchanan, heavy rainfall right now. But it looks like the hail core is going to be back out to the Stonewall Jackson Lake Wildlife Management Area and Stonewall Jackson Lake itself. We've got a hail core that's moving right into that area now, just south of Brownsville and north of the Roanoke area there by the Stonewall Resort State Park and Vandalia, Georgetown as well. So that's what we're watching right now. That is going to be crossing crossing I-79 as we speak. That hail core right out there by that intersection where you get off to go to Stonewall Jackson Lake Wildlife Management Area.
All right, we're going to take a break. Bottom of the hour news. We'll keep meteorologist Bryan Hughes in studio with us. Plus, we'll get to your calls and text on Open Line West Virginia 1-800-765-TALK. Text 304-TALK 304. You got storm damage? You want to report something? Call us or text us. It's Metro News Midday.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. We'll have to be weather aware again today and tonight. For two things, we're watching for potential flooding and severe weather. First, with the flooding potential, find your spot on the map. We have flood watches that begin generally at 1 o'clock this afternoon and expire either 11 o'clock tonight or 2 a.m. tomorrow, so basically today through tonight. Be weather aware of some thunderstorms producing excessive rain for some local to scattered flash flooding potential. This is total over the next 5 days, but most of this will happen from today through early tomorrow. Anywhere from 1/4 to 2 inches of rainfall with locally higher amounts too. Remember, turn around, don't drown. If any flash flooding pops up, there's a slight risk of excessive rain for the entire state today and tonight. There's also an enhanced risk of severe weather for most of us. That means numerous severe storms are possible. The primary risk will be for swaths of damaging winds, but large hail and a tornado will be possible too. Had a high of 87 yesterday at Charleston. What the radar may look like starting at 1. Warm front's already powered northeast of us. We await our cold front from the northwest. That doesn't hit our West Virginia skies until sometime overnight or early tomorrow morning, so this afternoon, overnight, be mindful of intensifying thunderstorms, flooding, and severe. Know that's a safe place to be if severe weather develops. Fly Severe forecast, it starts at home. Charlotte near 94 today. 90 tomorrow with a chance of thunderstorms from panhandle to panhandle. Rain and storms, risk of severe and flooding. East, some major heat risk in the eastern panhandle with some highs in the 80s and 90s before the storms come in. Central areas, flood watch, risk of severe, watching damaging winds. And to the south, flood watch, risk of severe, swaths of damaging winds. High near 90 in Huntington. Tomorrow, our chance of showers and storms generally ending early. A break of things near 80 on Thursday, and then some chances of passing showers mid-80s for the weekend.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
The 2026 West Virginia Prep Football Showcase partnered with Coalfields & Company.
The premier program across all classes in the state.
Analysis from Travis Jones and Joe Bricado. See the players and program shaping the 2026 season. Watch high school football athletes compete in the 40-yard dash, 5-10-5 shuttle, and broad jump. Streaming live July 25th on Metro News Television, YouTube, and Facebook. You want to know what West Virginia is talking about?
It's good to be back in Morgantown today.
Now it's different.
I think it's mostly just business.
What I voted for and what I think makes the most sense.
Well, Dave, this has been a bit of a controversy.
I want to thank the caller last week that said I sounded like Hoppy Kirchhoff. That was flattering.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line on Metro News Television.
Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com.
Welcome back to the show. 26 away from 3 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon. It's Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit SalangoLaw.com. Dave Allen in the host chair. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. We will get to your calls and text at 1-800-765-TALK or text 304-TALK-304 on Open Line West Virginia coming up. But again, we do want to check in the weather center, if you will, with Metro News meteorologist Bryan Hughes.
Well, we're looking at Stonewall Jackson Lake in the heart of what is going to be the hail core with the severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued across portions of the county there. A severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 3:15 for central Lewis and Upshur counties in northern and northeastern portions of West Virginia. This storm is capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and half-dollar-size hail and possibly even up to golf ball at times. So be advised of that. It's just the portion of the storm that has been rotating, still rotating very broadly, but nothing that is tornadic. Do you want to go back to, and mind you, that thunderstorm extends all the way to Elkins. I mean, this one has produced flash flooding across portions of southern Ohio and into sections of Wood County earlier today. Going back to Cabell County, this thunderstorm, Milton, heavy rainfall happening right now. I've seen the pictures coming from this storm out of the Barbersville area and that was working its way across southern Lawrence County in Ohio. That thunderstorm, I mean, it looks ragged and nasty, but it is not producing any type of a tornadic activity at the moment. There were some cases where there were some clouds that were very close to the ground, and that's what we call LCL, lifting condensation levels. You've got them very low, so you're going to have a lot of low-hanging clouds that are going to be associated with a lot of these thunderstorms passing through the area. But please make note, if you're driving along I-64 between Milton and Tays Valley, that's where you're going to have some of the heaviest rain. So Hurricane, Milton, that area is going to be some very heavy rainfall. And plus, we're going to be watching for potential hail core developing somewhere around the Milton area. Matter of fact, you could be seeing some pea to marble-sized hail associated with this thunderstorm, but the rotating part is just going to be just off to the northeast of Barbersville. No tornado that's touched down as of yet. That one has not wrapped up enough to cause any concern for any type of tornadic activity. But let's go back to northern portions of the state, back up to Pine Grove, just east of New Martinsville. Very heavy rainfall. As a matter of fact, a new flash flood warning has been issued. Now, that includes in West Virginia, Marshall County. That is going to be the areas of Powhatan Point, just south of Moundsville, back over to near Cameron and the Underwood Wildlife Management Area. You've got some heavy rainfall still on the way. Just south of Wheeling, extremely heavy rainfall continuing Armstrong's Mills back across parts of Ohio and Glencoe, south of St. Clairsville. But back to the to the west of you, around Zanesville, Ohio, new tornado warning has been issued for that area. So that is moving due east. So we're going to monitor that storm over the next hour, working its way closer to the northern panhandle. But what's happened here is that we've got a few of the thunderstorms that are down, like Corridor G, down south of Madison, northeast of Logan right now. But Dave, what we've seen happening today is that we have the supercell thunderstorms, that one that had the tornado warning earlier, our first tornado warning of the day across portions of the Calhoun County area and such. That thunderstorm, matter of fact, actually, you know what? Going back in here, we have an area that we have tornado damage area confirmed. Let's see here. I'm trying to get this information here real quick. I don't have any media that's available, but it is going to be near Eva, south of Fonzo. This was an area that we talked about earlier, south of Smithville. This is going to be near 16 and 25, 16 and 19. There across portions of the Ritchie County area. So that is going to be.
So there is damage.
There is damage that has been confirmed just about 15 minutes ago in that area. So that's going to be across the Ritchie County area right now that we do have from the tornado warned area earlier. So that's.
But just to reiterate, though, we're not suggesting it is a tornado. We are
That
just
is
saying
correct.
that was an area that was under a tornado warning.
It was.
And there has been damage reported. That doesn't necessarily mean it was a tornado.
That is correct. That means it was necessarily tornado damage, but we do have the report saying it's coming out of Ryan Hall out of Pikeville, Kentucky. Anybody who knows anything about watching weather online knows Ryan Hall and his group, and they've got a yaw track that indicates that confirmed areas of damage, and it actually says tornado damage area. So we're still trying to get some sort of pictures out of that area, but that's also a very hard area to get some cell service for sure. So what we're looking at these are supercell thunderstorms that are out ahead of the main line that we're expecting probably later tonight now. We do have a new severe thunderstorm watch that has been issued all across parts of central Kentucky. And then we also have another area. Matter of fact, I'm going to zoom out here just a little bit so I can get a good handle of this. Looks like we're going to have another severe thunderstorm watch that's going to be issued at least later on across portions of Virginia and southern West Virginia and parts of southeast Kentucky. But essentially, the entire state of West Virginia at some point, for the most part, will have either a severe thunderstorm watch or has had one at some point. So it's
and this is interesting because very rarely it's been my experience that we've had the entire state of West Virginia under some, because usually you'll say, well, we're going to have these severe storms everywhere but the Greenbrier Valley or everywhere but
Right.
Eastern Panhandle or southern West Virginia. You're saying that pretty much all 55 counties, everybody's impacted by this.
Everybody's impacted by the showers and storms for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of those rare days that you can say 100% chance of rain across the entire state of West Virginia. It's going to happen today, tonight. Whether that be severe or not is still going to be in question. But most of us are going to have strong, severe thunderstorms. But, the tornado warning storms that we had earlier, the one that's across parts of Ohio now, we're continuing to monitor that. What I'm seeing develop, though, is the line. And you can, I'll point this out, just so you have an idea. You see it. It's from there, just around Louisville, Cincy, to Columbus, back up to around the Pittsburgh area, Wheeling, Pittsburgh. That's going to be the line that develops. But these storms that have been out ahead of it, these are the supercell thunderstorms that have produced the tornado warnings and also the storms that are capable of producing something that could be tornado warnings later on.
Are you still sticking with the same thing, though, Brian, from when you started talking about this yesterday? We're still sticking with the same thing that primarily for most West Virginians, the damage is going to be wind.
Yes, mostly
that's
the damage.
That's not changed, right?
No, that's not changed. We're still looking at wind damage. Everything that I'm seeing from the from the severe thunderstorm warnings, everything is talking about wind gusts in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour.
And this is the time of year when people have their plants out in the yard, their lawn flags and things. That I know because my wife was out this morning at around 6:30 this morning getting ready for it by picking everything up.
Yeah.
So that's why we say that.
Yeah, it's this is just going to be one of those days that it's going to be later than what we were looking at initially, but because these thunderstorms that have developed ahead of it and the storms that we had running across Ohio today, they're the problem. They're the problem children today on slowing things down for us. But you had we talked about it earlier. There was a time that we looked like, okay, now things are moving up in time. The time that it's going to happen. Now it's actually moving later because these thunderstorms slowed down, and then we had them become supercellular. Matter of fact, even this morning at 6 a.m., Steve Bishop said, is this stuff in Ohio? Is this going to be later today? And I said, yes. I said, even if it falls apart, the remnant boundaries will still be a part of what's happening today. But guess what? They sustained themselves through the most stable part of the atmosphere, which is about 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning. And they've sustained themselves all the way into West Virginia to produce the tornado warnings and some of that tornado damage, as confirmed by Ryan Hall.
Do we have any information about the power outages or anything? Or
I can look at the.
Well, I'll tell you what, you do that.
I'll do that. By the way, new severe thunderstorm warning was just issued for Cabell, Kanawha, Lincoln, Mason, and Putnam counties for that thunderstorm that's running right along I-64.
Okay, and that's until.
That goes until let's see here. That goes until 3:30 this afternoon. And that one is capable of producing hail that is going to be winds up to 60 miles per hour and hail 3/4 of an inch.
Okay. All right. Well, if you could do something about the hail, I would appreciate it because I need to head that way, and I just bought a new vehicle in January. So,
well, I wish you great luck, and hopefully you can find a nice little place to store that vehicle.
Once I get home, I'm good.
Yeah,
it's
getting there.
It'll go in the garage. All right, we'll take a break, and I am going to try to get to as many texts as we can on Open Line West Virginia. It's 2:43. We'll come back after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
The 2026 West Virginia Prep Football Showcase partnered with Coalfields and Company.
The premier program across all classes in the state.
Analysis from Travis Jones and Joe Bricado. See the players and program shaping the 2026 season. Watch high school football athletes compete in the 40-yard dash, 5-10-5 shuttle, and broad jump. Streaming live July 25th on MetroNews Television, YouTube, and Facebook.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
Need a truck that's ready for work, weekends, and everything in between? Right now at Dan Cava GMC, get up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500, or save up to $4,000 off all new GMC Canyon Elevations, offering bold styles, advanced technology, and everyday practicality. Come explore our all-new GMC Yukons, built for busy families and big adventures. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thorod.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
Where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
First thing I hear when those mics go on is you just coughing, and I'm just like, this guy.
You don't appreciate me giving that show a little ratings boost?
Coughing directly onto these microphones? No, I don't want it.
Hotline on Metro News Television.
Welcome back to the show. 13 minutes away from 3 o'clock. We're continuing to monitor the stormy weather in West Virginia. Producer Stephanie tells me that statewide, currently 4,413 people are without power, and that is statewide, Brian, from what we understand.
Yeah, those customers, when you multiply it by 2.235 or 245, you're looking at now around between 8 and 10,000 people without power. Customers are 4,400, I think. Yeah, 4,400.
Yeah.
So that would put around 10,000 actual people are impacted by the power outages. We still have that one, and this is going to be out. It's moving out of moving out of Stonewall Jackson Lake. It's still within the Stone Coal Lake Wildlife Management Area. French Creek. Oh, Freddie, major concern. The hail, thankfully, is just going north of Freddie.
Okay.
So we got French Creek, Hinkleville, and Tallmansville. That is under severe thunderstorm warning just south of Buchanan. That is moving off to the east-southeast. We do have some rotation still with that, but that's going to be more along the lines of just wind damage at this point, nothing that is tornadic. But We come back to that storm that is working its way along I-64, and in Culloden, heavy rainfall, hurricane from Imperial Estates to Inglewood Estates to autumn winds, Hickory Hill, heavy rainfall is moving through and getting heavier. But the rotation that we've been watching, very nasty-looking clouds, they're moving right over Milton right now. So at this point, we don't have anything that says this is tornadic, but still, it's a nasty-looking cloud that's out there. That is for sure. But thankfully, no significant rotation with that. But there are characteristics that say, yeah, this is a pretty good storm. The Storm Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma, has noted that these two storms are they're what they call discrete supercells. So they're way away from the line. They are isolated, and why they use the word discrete, I've never understood it, because they're not discrete; they're very prominent, So, but they are
discretion is not part of it.
That is correct. There's no discretion here, except for they're selectively deciding where they want to go. But they do have some power still left with them. But the further east they go, they're getting into an environment that's not good for them right now. But what is happening, well back to the west, I have tornado warnings that are across portions of, as we mentioned, near the Zanesville area, and that in Ohio. That includes portions of the Muskingum County in Ohio. And then we also have another tornado warning just east of Cincy. Now, these thunderstorms are moving off to the east and southeast, and Dave Weekley is going to get to do some weatherman,
He used to
awesomeness
he used to do
again.
Yeah.
Because we've got those thunderstorms that are going to be working their way into our region as we go here in the next few hours. So it's going to be an interesting afternoon to watch that line start to develop. But as the line starts to develop, what happens is your tornado threat does go down somewhat. You can still have isolated tornadoes in the line, but that's when your wind threat starts to increase. And especially once we get the storms that are around Wilmington, Ohio, matching up and meeting together with the storms that are around Columbus, that's when the line's really going to start to develop. And then we start to see those moving across the area. But more storms are developing right now, just starting to develop across portions of the coal fields and also back up to Ravenswood. And we've got some of the northern panhandle. Morgantown, you're on tap for some more showers and storms off to your west. Right now, none of those are tornadic, but we are watching one that is just northwest of Mannington, and that one has some rotational characteristics with it, but nothing too impressive at the moment.
All right, so again, the bottom line is the biggest threat to the majority of our listeners in West Virginia right now is going to be the winds as we head ahead throughout the evening hours.
Yes.
And this is we're just in the beginnings of this thing.
Right.
I mean, so if it does clear up in your area, whether you're listening to us right now, the heavy stuff ain't even here yet.
Right. And I'd hate to make it all the way through sports line tonight, but
sports lines, Major League Baseball, whatever it
exactly,
takes.
Yeah. Whatever it takes. We'll be here for the duration, but it's going to be a long evening and night. The interesting thing is I've had so many texts from friends of mine who said, well, they're canceling this or canceling that. That a lot of times that's good. People are being cognizant of weather and what's coming, but sometimes we over cancel.
Sure,
it seems like in situations like this that this is an evolving situation. If it had been the line of storms that we are looking at with our forecast models this morning, cancel a lot of things. But right now we've just got a couple of complexes that are being dominant. But the line is still going to move in later on this afternoon to this evening. And we're almost 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
we still got hours to go.
Well, we live in a cancel culture society.
We absolutely do,
one way or the other.
And I said we'll cancel things for the stupidest reasons and things that make zero sense. But it's an interesting situation we have happening today.
All right, just be safe wherever you are right now. MetroNews Meteorologist Bryan Hughes will be popping in from time to time on Hotline throughout the day. We appreciate what you've done here today. You've eaten up most of my open line West Virginia, but that's okay.
I'm so sorry about that.
That's all right.
What's the dominant take there?
Trump.
It's his fault, right? Everything.
Let me knock out a couple texts. They were talking about term limits on Talkliner the day. Late text said, yes, term limits. Think younger, 65, okay, but any older, not good. Need younger people in to fix what the kooks have messed up, says a texter. A $500 million loan to a senator. Why would investors go into something which could be a legal mess, as justice is known for, seems questionable, says a texter. Text says the Boone County school system had money the way we all understand and see the records until the state took over. State has been spending that money since takeover at a rapid pace, so they could say there's no money for repairs and consolidations are needed, so they can close schools. This needs exposure to find and to understand how state operations works at taxpayer loss, says a texter. One text here, and then we'll turn it over. Text says, Dave, I see where West Virginia's economy getting worse, job participation is falling, and our public schools is getting worse. It's been 11 years under Republican full control, and it's gotten worse. We'll leave it there. We will come back and wrap it up after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
The 2026 West Virginia Prep Football Showcase partnered with Coalfields and Company.
The premier program across all classes in the state.
Analysis from Travis Jones and Joe Bricado. See the players and program shaping the 2026 season. Watch high school football athletes compete in the 40-yard dash, 5-10-5 shuttle, and broad jump. Streaming live July 25th on Metro News Television, YouTube, and Facebook.
At Daniels Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniels is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniels.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
We really had to go towards an LVAD. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
We're going to do public math, so it's 31 divided by 4.
Yeah, just under 8 per win.
Just mark it down.
Put Tony and I down for 8. Coach Hunter, put us on the prediction show for 8. We already got it. There's the math. Just go.
Sportsline on Metro News Television.
Welcome back to the show. It is 2:57. A reminder that tomorrow is Wednesday, which means we honor another wonderful West Virginian doing great things in his or her community. Drop us an email, midday@wvmetronews.com, midday@wvmetronews.com, or reach out to either Amanda Barrett or myself on social media. For me, it's Dave Allen Radio and Facebook, or at Dave A70 on X. Hotline coming up on many of these same Metro News stations. Of course, we'll continue to get check-ins with MetroNews meteorologist Bryan Hughes. Now, a man who the Doppler radar was named after, Dave Doppler Weekly.
Did you say tomorrow's Wednesday?
Yeah.
Man, I got to make it. Are those coming faster and faster?
No.
Okay. Seems like we just had Monday.
Seems like you can say. Seems like we just had a Wednesday last week.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
We did, oddly enough.
All right, so we're gonna make it through. We're gonna make it through this. We're gonna make it through the rain.
Metro News meteorologist Bryan Hughes says that once we get through this evening, we got a great couple of weather days. The humidity's down, high temperatures, most areas like in the upper 70s to low 80s, low humidity. Great weather for a couple days. That's according to.
Why do weather guys expect us to thank them when the weather is good?
Well, because you blame them when it's not.
Right. People go, it's all your fault. I'm like, yeah, of course it is.
Sure it is.
Yeah.
So I'd like to give the weather guy, praise.
You remember the first time you ever used the phrase atmospheric river?
Not until probably the last 10 years. Before that, it was just a bunch of rain coming from the Pacific.
I was going to say, it's really coming down now.
He is from Texas, so
I know.
He uses terms like toad stranglers. And
Yes,
like
exactly.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, frog floaters.
Yeah.
We ought to put together, though, a list of new weather terms from like the last 10 years.
All right.
Listen, I could contribute to it because it's stupid how they've been blown out of proportion by producers out of New York City.
Yeah, you mean like
New York City?
You mean like naming winter storms, like Winter Storm Earl and stuff like that? That's not really even a thing.
Well, we do have a tropical storm right now, Bertha.
That's different, though.
Well, she's not that big though.
Okay.
Because you need a big Bertha.
I was going to say Big Bertha.
And you need banging Bertha. We have that at Texas Tech, banging Bertha.
We're going to be all right. We're going to be all right.
What you got on the show today?
Hey, when was the last time you saw a car with a stick shift?
Well, my brother-in-law has Corvettes, so I've seen several of his and been in them. So other than that, it's been a while.
That's what we're going to talk a little bit about. We're going to get into that.
Manual shifts?
Manual shifts. When's the last time you drove one?
All right.
Could you drive home with one if your life depended on it?
All right.
Yes.
See you later. Till tomorrow, have fun and love somebody.